Thank you for joining me for yet another unboxing video, and today we have more RPG goodness. That's right, we're talking about the role-playing game Outbreak Undead, brought to you by Renegade Game Studios. We have two card decks for you today. We have the weapons deck and the traits deck. One has 60 cards in it, the other has 90 cards in it. This deck was released in 2019 and the retail cost was $11.99. But I picked it up recently because I got into this role-playing game and I said, you know what, why not get a player aid that will help me GM the game and help it move a little more quickly. So let's take a look at this. So we have our Outbreak Undead weapon deck. So here we go. These are the cards that are included in the weapon deck, and all the cards are set up identically. Top right, I'll tell you what it's used for. Gear, with the name of the say the role-playing game. A picture of the weapon itself, how you identify it, and what its loot score is. On the back of each card, it'll tell you what it is: a throwing knife, what you need, skill sets that you need for it, base dice that you're going to use for it, and the triggered effects that you have for it. So it's a two-sided card. So the first card we have here is a dagger. It is a throwing knife. So we'll start off with that. I'm going to flip them over this way. This way we can see what it is and then show you the picture. So again, we have the Molotov cocktail. Flip that over. Again, we have a picture of it. You have another Molotov cocktail. You have a fragmentation grenade. You have a flashbang grenade. You have a smoke grenade. Broadhead arrow and bolts. Gear, there we go. Here we have small pistol cartridge. Again, a small pistol cartridge. Intermediate pistol cartridge. Again, this is to make sure you have enough ammo for your weapons. Intermediate pistol cartridge. Heavy pistol cartridge. Heavy pistol cartridge again. Massive pistol cartridge. Again, it tells you right up there the value, the point score for it, how it's used. It's heavy, it's for deadly 3 ammo within this category: 44 Magnum, 454 Casual, 45 Winchester Magnum, and 500 Smith & Wesson Magnum. Again, that's again for the, again, so you have to have the right, again, another massive pistol cartridge. You have to have the right weapon so that you can have the right ammunition for it. Small rifle cartridge, and again, it tells you for a .17 Super Magnum, .22 LR. Then we have a small rifle cartridge again. Look at that. Intermediate rifle cartridge. It tells you the type of weapons that it's used for. Intermediate rifle cartridge and a heavy rifle cartridge. Again, all the information tells you the dice, the special, heavy 3, and everything else here, all the stats that are used for it. Again, these cards are not to be used for anything other than the Outbreak Undead role-playing game. All the icons and everything that is listed on the card is discussed in the core rulebook for Outbreak Undead. Again, heavy rifle cartridge, there's a picture of that. Then it has a 00 buckshot. Some more buckshot. Then we have a MAC-10 type of weapon that you could find. An Uzi. An AK-47. An AR-15, an M16, an AR-10, Effin' Fall, assault shotgun, pump action shotgun, sawed-off shotgun, break action single barrel, break action double barrel, 22 rifle, 30-06 bolt action rifle, again a 30-06 bolt action rifle, a 22 pistol, 9mm pistol, 9mm pistol again. You have your 1911. You have your bear pistol. You have a broadhead arrow and bolts, more of those. You got a crossbow, a compound crossbow, sorry about that. You also have a chainsaw. You have the katana, machete, an axe, a hatchet, crowbar, baseball bat, another baseball bat, sledgehammer, hammer, another hammer, combat knife, and the combat knife. So those are all of the weapons that are included in the weapons deck for Outbreak Undead, the role-playing game. Again, all the cards are set up identically the same way. Again, has the information on the top right. It's a gear card. I'll see it for the role-playing game Outbreak Undead. Again, has the photo, has the icons. It tells you the loot value, the identify value. On the back, it gives you all your stats you need for combat and what it's used for here and what kind of effects it has. What's the special rule for it and any type of effects. Remember, some weapons would be used, like the smaller weapons here, all the handheld, are more for melee combat and you can't use for distance. Once we get to the crossbow, you got to have your bolts to shoot your crossbow. Obviously, these are meant for over range for shooting. Then you have your ammunition also, and then you also in the back you have ammunition. Back you also have there's another bolt, and there you have some different types of grenades and Molotov cocktails in the back. And there's your knife way up front we could start with. So there you go. So that was everything that's included in the weapon deck. Now we also have the traits deck. We have 90 cards for the traits deck. Again, the retail value of this was $11.99. This was released also in 2019. I picked these both up recently when I happened to travel into New York. I went to the Complete Strategist once again. Whenever I'm in the city, that's my go-to store. No matter where I go in the city, I always swing by there. Now we have two different sets of decks of cards in here. Of course, they're all part of the traits deck, but we have one that has a red background, and then we have these that are with the yellow. So for the yellow, it tells you these are abilities. These are abilities that you can have. Again, all the icons that you see on the cards are explained to you in the core rulebook. On the red deck, which we'll start with, again, the red deck, these are the traits cards. All the fronts are the same. Again, for the weapons deck, the fronts were the picture and the back was the information. So on this one here, all the fronts are identical, but in the back, obviously based on whether it's a red. So if it's a red card, it's a disadvantage. So this is addiction for downers. Disadvantage. This addiction occurs when a person ingests a substance that may very well be pleasurable, but the continued use of which becomes compulsive and interferes with ordinary life. Addicts may not even be aware that they're spiraling out of control, causing problems for themselves and others. Now also in the card, you have character quirks and coping mechanisms. So let's see what it says there. Character quirk. When making purchases from a resource catalog, a composure percentage with blank pure tier must be passed or some is spent on the substance. Use supplies, general if legal, or supplies medical if illegal for purchase. If this character does not indulge their addiction, they will suffer withdrawal symptoms, which in the case of downers will require an extra D5 of long rest. Coping mechanism. A character can voluntarily indulge in addiction described above as a form of stress relief to prevent the loss of happiness as per normal coping rules. So there you go. So all these cards here are what they call disadvantages. So we have addiction downers, addiction uppers, aggression, chronic pain, insomnia, irascible. And let's see what that means. Call it crabby, hot-headed, testy, or short-tempered. In the end, it means a person is quick to anger. This can make a person come across as grating and rough around the edges. Character quirk, any method of diplomacy percentage used other than diplomacy intermediate will have to add something per tier. Coping mechanism. To prevent the loss of happiness, this character can instead reduce the happiness of any formation they are in or cause the party to lose 5 points per tier. So it's irascible. Mania, monomania, one eye to the past, paranoia, and a phobia. Thing, situation. It's a disadvantage. It's a psychological disadvantage. Phobias are a fear of a specific thing or situation. This must be defined when this disadvantage is taken. Character quirk. Encountering the phobia-inducing thing or situation will count as a stressor and will cause a loss of happiness. The composure save throw has blank per tier. Coping mechanism. This character can avoid the loss of happiness by voluntarily adding blank per tier to their result for a check. This cannot be offset by using tactics or other rules to gain advantage. So there you go. Those are, again, the fronts are the same, but again with the red barrier around it, we're talking about disadvantages. So now when we're talking about traits, we're talking about advantages. And we got lots of them here. Again, the cards are all set up identically the same. It has the title, it's an ability, then it has an icon here. Your character is extremely adept at being well hidden and moving silently. So that tells you a little background of what stealthy means. So it's a definition right there. And then it tells you your skill support, your advancement rate, your special features, and your mastery right there. So you have stealthy, sharpshooter, big rig kit type, meaning being skilled in makeshift repairs or creating temporary contrivances made with only the tools, materials that happen to be on hand and can easily be difference between life and death. Combat reflexes, acumen, agility, mule. So we're talking about strength now. Ability, mule, swimmer, switch hitter, a weedle, ability. So as you can tell, they're switching. So as the ability changes, it'll tell you what ability that it has an effect on. So here's also your vision, how much you can see. Okay. I'll see how strong you are. So you're strong like a mule, strong swimmer. There's a switch hitter. I'll see this has to do with your heart. So let's see what this says. This character can use flattery, personality, and other such techniques in order to make people reveal more information. Again, has a skill, support, advancement rates, special features, and your mastery. So volunteer, teacher, profession, therapist, social worker as a profession. Has good charisma. So this is we're talking about your intelligence or your wits. This character has a knack for being able to keep down things that are very difficult to eat. So special features again, and your mastery. Bookworm, diligence, early bird, efficient, iron will, mechanical engineer, and that's their profession. Pack rat, tough, weekend warrior, autodidact. So let's take a look at this one. This character is self-taught in some area of professional expertise, so training value. +2 to one kind of kit. This ability can be taken at multiple tiers, but each tier will add training value to a different kind of kit. Possible kits include, but are not limited to, archery gear, climbing gear, diving gear, first aid kit, recon gear, survival kit, tool kit, trapping kit. Mastery. Increase all training values granted by this ability from +2 to +3. That's an autodidactic. Honor. So here it's affecting two different things. So let's look at animal handling species. It says this character has experience in training and commanding animals of a chosen species. Got skill support, advancement rate, special feature, and mastery again. So animal fellowship, specific animal. Civil engineering and profession. And again, it's an ability, but it's telling you what ability it's affecting below. So here you have the heart and the brain. Here you have the eye and the brain. Healthy, you have your strength and your mind. Damage threshold, training kit tools. So this will affect your strength, your vision, your health, and of course your brain as well. Your core stats it's going to affect. Support basic skill, support expert skill, support trained skill, resourceful kit, civilian profession, civilian profession, sorry, there's two of those. Bushcraft, cosmopolitan, leadership, so this says +1 per tier. Mountaineer, +1 per tier. Salesmanship, +1 per tier. Traceur, let's see what that means. This character is capable of astonishing feats of strength and agility in navigating urban environment. Again, skill, support, advancement rate, and mastery. Athletic conditioning, sport, +1 tier. Concealment, another +1 tier. Survival skills, a biome. This character is highly accustomed to surviving within certain biomes and is able to utilize available natural resources effectively. +1 per tier. Dive certified. Basic first aid training. BMX bike riding. Biker. training with a vehicle or a vessel, craftsman material, electric engineering profession, farmer rancher profession, locksmith profession, research specific field, culinary arts, custodian profession, contractor profession, artistic, firefighter training profession, advanced cardiac life support, trapper, hunter, search and rescue profession, surgical skills profession, clinical skills, martial artist, pugilist. The character is an excellent boxer or fist fighter. Bow, crossbow, training with long guns, training with pistol. Obviously, it's going to make you better with a different kind, the type of weapon that you've been training with, obviously. So long gun, pistol. So this can be used alongside with your weapon deck as well. So you get a weapon. If you're a grenadier, you know how to use maybe the Molotov cocktail, the fragmentation grenade, the flashbang, and the smoke grenades better because obviously you have that skill set. You know exactly what that's all about. So that's great. And you're a gunslinger, obviously using different kinds of weapons. Marksman, trigger discipline, training melee weapons. So obviously when you're getting into hand-to-hand or close combat, you're going to be closer to an expert than the other person who you're fighting against. And then you have caged wisdom. Let's take a look at this one. It says, incarceration is not ideal, but a character that has done hard time has a crash course in many hard life lessons and exercise a level of ingenuity that could be useful in a survival situation. Training values, skill support, and mastery. So there you have it. Once again, all the cards that are in this deck that are with the yellow background is an ability, is a positive ability. If it has a red background, it would be considered a disadvantage, something as in having an addiction to any type of drug. So there you go. So these are all your cards that are included in your traits deck. And of course, the first deck that we talked about, so I'll take this part and make sure we understand these are all part of the same deck. So your disadvantages, your advantages, and in this one right here, we have the different weapons that come from the weapon deck. And this is everything that's included, and this concludes our unboxing of Outbreak Undead weapon deck and Outbreak Undead traits deck. Again, this is brought to you by Renegade Game Studios. It was released in 2019, and it's to be used solely with Outbreak Undead, the role-playing game. As always, thank you so much for joining us for this unboxing video. It's truly appreciated. If you enjoyed the video, you could always give us a thumbs up and leave a comment below. You could also hit that subscribe button. This way you're kept up to date as to any time we release new content to the page. As always, thank you so much for joining us. Be safe, be well, enjoy the remainder of your day, and we'll catch you on the next unboxing video.